Hi everyone, it's Louise at Craft Geek Dioramas, and here's another diorama update for you. This is a finished commission piece that I've just done mainly to be used for toy photography. And this piece is based on an apartment hallway. And I thought I would just do a very quick video before it gets sent off just to show you guys how I made it and the sizes and so forth. Okay, so I've got Jim Gordon in there just to give you an idea of scale. I really apologise for the lighting in this today. It's very early in the morning here, and I'm really trying to get this done so I can get it sent off for the customer. Okay, so the entire piece is in the hallway part here across there. We are looking at 12 inches across. The actual height of the scene is 12 inches. I can't get this lighting very good today. And the actual length of the apartment hallway is about 17 inches. We've got two end panels on the end of the diorama, and those ones are about 7 inches across and obviously 12 inches in height. And those were added on the end purely for photography, so when the customer's taking his shots, he's got extra walls on the side. It also has a roof. The roof is not actually magnetised. Everything else in the piece is. All the walls are, but the actual roof isn't. It's just placed on top, and obviously because it's being used for toy photography, obviously the top and sides haven't been finished because it's not going to be used for actual display. And I actually added some lights to the ceiling as well, which I'll show you in a moment how I did that. Okay, so again, the usual materials will come in a little bit because of the lighting. The usual materials that I use is the 5mm blue model styrofoam, which is my usual material that I use, and you can kind of see the thickness here on the end. That's the thickness of it. And colour scheme wise, I was kind of left to my own devices on that one, and there at the moment on the sort of dio scene there are quite a lot of hallway apartment dioramas that I've seen, and I just wanted to kind of make, well, I'll say make it different. It's very hard to make a sort of generic hallway different, but I just wanted the colours to be a little bit different from what I've seen. And I actually based this colouring on the Friends set, basically the green doors, the brown sort of lower half and the cream upper half. That's where I got my my sort of colour palette from. All the doors and everything in it are made from, again, the styrofoam. The only thing that isn't made from styrofoam in here is actually the door numbers. So and the little latches for the key, they're made from little bits of thick card. So this piece actually is pretty much been made from styrofoam. Doors are removable. I'm not going to remove one now because it will I can't put the phone down. So yeah, but they are removable, so they can kind of be open, shut, and things added on behind, which is good for toy photography. And I added the numbers on. I just basically printed them off of Google and added them to some black foam that I had, so that kind of gives it a little bit more of a realistic feel. The colour palette, it looks quite dirty, and that's the kind of look that I wanted. And on this piece, actually, I normally use acrylic paints mainly. I do use some emulsions for base coating and stuff, but this actual piece is being completely and entirely painted in emulsion paint. I bought some tester pots for £1 from a local DIY store, B&Q here in the UK, and I thought I would give it a go, because obviously it's quite a lot of space that I need to to paint. So everything on here is actually being painted with emulsion, not acrylic. The doors, which was a green emulsion that I got, obviously all in matte emulsion. The lower half was a brown, like a cappuccino brown, and then I've added dry brushing to give it sort of the weathered look. And the cream at the top was an ivory, which I then gave a wash to after. It was like a brown wash that I did, which kind of gives it this sort of dirty look to it. And I also did the same kind of dirty look to the ceiling and made it look like it was all cracked and, you know, just basically not being looked after. Now, because obviously it's a contained unit, I wanted some lights in it, and I kind of had these lights I was using in my display, action figure display, and I had a sort of an idea of using them in the actual piece. And what they are, they're trying to get these out without. They are actually LED. I'll just pop it down here. There are LED lights that slot into a round piece that sticks on a shelf. And I use them for my toy display in my room, but they don't actually give off enough light for my actual figures. So I've got quite a few of these. So I thought they would actually be really good in maybe some dioramas that I use. And it gives off a good amount of light for a small space like this. So I thought to myself, I could use them in this diorama because the customer wanted a roof. And I thought if we're having a roof, we're going to have some kind of lighting. You have to excuse the speaker at the back, it's just keeping this flat at the moment because obviously with all the paint and washes it's just bowed a little, but it will flatten out. So yeah, I cut out, measured it all out centrally, and then cut out so it was just that it would sit in nicely, and then it's really good because they can be taken out, put in, they can be taken out and different lights used through, so it's quite versatile. So that's basically how I did the lights in the ceiling, and I think it's worked quite well, and it does actually give some really nice effects on the walls and stuff. I did some trial shots with it, not that I'm a photographer by any ways or means, but I did some shots with it, and it did come out really effective, and you can see here, you know, the kind of effects you're getting on the walls, so it does work really well. The customer didn't want a floor. His flooring was sorted, so in case anybody's wondering, well, why didn't she make a floor to go with this? It wasn't actually asked for in the specifications, so that's why it kind of looks probably a bit unfinished to some people, but that was what was requested. So yeah, that's basically it really. Added some weathering to the walls, used my different tools to kind of add you know, different textures to the wall, and then with the dry brushing it kind of just makes it pop. I didn't want it to look too sort of too bashed up, but I wanted it to look like it being, you know, it was old, and I've added some dry brushing and some weathering to the doors as well, just to kind of make them look a bit dirty. But yeah, that's basically it, and hope you enjoyed that one, and hopefully I'll be back soon with some more tutorials for you guys. I've got a few in mind, so I will keep you posted. But thanks for following, and I will speak to you all soon. Bye bye.